Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving deep into one of the toughest places in golf, Oakmont Country Club, and specifically the 125th U.S. Open they held there. We've got a pile of articles, notes, all sorts of stuff covering, the course, the drama, and this unbelievable winner story.
Right.
So our mission here is basically to sift through it all, pull out the key bits, understand what really happened, why this championship was, well, so unique.
Yeah, and this wasn't just, any major. Putting the U.S. Open at Oakmont, that automatically cranks up the pressure cooker.
Absolutely.
The sources we have, they make it really clear. It's a place designed to beat you down. It tests your swing, sure, but it really tests your head, your grit, like nowhere else. And the main story we'll get into is just this amazing perseverance, an unlikely win against just a brutal test.
And the way the winner's final round kicked off. I mean, it makes the ending seem almost impossible.
About right.
But that's Oakmont for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Unexpected. Let's dig in.
So, Oakmont. What makes it so infamous? Well, the stuff we read paints a really vivid picture.
Yeah.
They're talking greens running over 15 on the Stimpmeter.
Wow.
Which, I mean, for anyone listening, that's basically like putting on your kitchen countertop. Maybe faster?
Right. Just lightning. You breathe on it. It rolls off the green.
Exactly. Perfect speed is everything, just to stay on the surface.
And it wasn't just the greens, was it? The sources mentioned the rough, too.
Oh, yeah. Rough that swallowed golf balls like quicksand. That's the quote.
So good luck finding it, let alone hitting out of it.
Pretty much. And then the fairways, described as narrower than a London alley.
Ah, okay.
So 0 room for error off the tee. You miss slightly, you're in deep, deep trouble. It wasn't just about golf shots, The sources say Oakmont tests your endurance, your belief. Can you hang in there when it feels like the course is punching you nonstop?
And the proof is right there in the scores, isn't it?
Yeah.
According to what we read, only 4 players. 4 finished the whole week under par.
That's crazy low.
Compared to a normal tour event where you might see, 20, 30 guys under par? Maybe more.
Easily. Yeah, that stat alone tells you everything about how tough Oakmont was playing. It just humbled everyone.
Even the absolute best.
Right. The accounts we saw really highlight that. Think about Bryson DeChambeau, defending champ.
Missed the cut. Badly. Like +10.
10 over par, yeah. And Rory McIlroy, you could just feel his frustration. The quote was something like, "I didn't really care anymore. I just wanted it to end."
Wow. That's blunt.
That's what Oakmont can do. It gets in your head. Breaks down even the strongest mental games out there.
So as Sunday wore on, the final round itself started cooking up its own drama. Separate from just the course being hard.
Oh, yeah. You had guys moving up, guys falling back. The usual Sunday pressure cooker, but amplified.
Take Sam Burns. He was the leader after 54 holes, right?
Yeah.
Looked like it might be his moment.
He was right there. Seemed like he had control.
But then Sunday happened. The sources say he just unraveled under Sunday pressure. Shot a 78 in the final round, filled with errant tee shots, multiple 3-putts, and a painful double bogey on 17. Just fell apart.
Yeah, the phrase used was, what once looked like destiny turned to disaster.
Oh,
brutal.
Just shows you, leading a major on Sunday is a different beast.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, you had Robert McIntyre putting together a great round, shot 68.
Yeah, he was right in the mix.
Led for a good chunk of the afternoon, actually. The sources say he nearly stole the championship. Came really close.
And then there was Victor Hovland. Kind of quiet, but effective.
Yeah, just steady, put together a really solid week, finished solo third at 2 over.
Which, according to the notes, kind of cements his reputation, right? As one of the most consistent guys in the majors lately.
Seems like it. He just hangs around leaderboards in these big events.
And we have to mention the weird moment. Patrick Reed.
Oh, the albatross. Yeah.
On the par 5 fourth, made a 2. Which is only the 4th one ever in U.S. Open history.
Something incredibly rare like that, yeah. Amazing shot.
And his reaction. Classic Reed, according to the source material. Just basically, one hole doesn't mean jack.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Different personalities out there tackling the same monster.
But the day itself got thrown for a loop by something else entirely.
The weather, right?
Yeah, the weather. Heavy rain and a 95-minute delay late on Sunday afternoon.
Which, just throws everything off. Your rhythm, your focus. Chaos for the guys on the course.
Total chaos.
And there was this interesting little side note during the delay.
Oh, yeah.
NBC, the broadcaster, they showed some old footage. Tiger Woods' famous 2008 win at Torrey Pines.
Ah, okay, classic moment.
Yeah, but apparently it caused a bit of a stir online. The sources mentioned social media backlash.
Really? Why?
Seems some fans felt like the network was, I don't know, giving up on the current tournament because they showed old highlights before it was over.
Huh. Interesting take. But here's where it gets really fascinating, connecting back to the winner. The sources point out this incredible irony. It was actually during that long disruptive rain delay that J.J. Spaun managed to completely mentally reset.
No kidding. So the delay actually helped him.
It seems like it. The material says the pause seemed to work in his favor. He came back out refreshed, recalibrated, and determined.
Wow. That just sets up his whole final round story perfectly, doesn't it? That resilience.
It really does. Because you look at how his day started.
Disaster, right.
Total disaster. The sources detail it. 5 bogeys in the first 6 holes.
Oof. 5 over through 6 at Oakmont on Sunday.
You'd think, okay, stick a fork in him. That's usually the end of any hope right there. Looked completely over for him.
Absolutely. You just don't come back from that kind of start there, usually.
But then, after that rain delay, after that reset we talked about,
he flipped a switch.
Completely. The sources say he staged a gutsy rally, played nearly flawless golf on the inward 9. Just stripe show under the highest pressure imaginable.
Incredible composure.
And the ending. Just cinematic. The sources describe this breathtaking 65-foot birdie putt on the 18th green.
65 feet.
They called it the longest putt made by anyone the entire championship. And it wasn't just for show that putt clinched the win.
Wow. What a way to finish.
He ends up shooting 69 for the day, which is amazing given the start. Finished the tournament at 1 under par, 279 total.
And you got to put that in historical context. Winning a U.S. Open at Oakmont under par, that's rarefied air.
Extremely rare.
The material we read highlights he was the first player to win a U.S. Open at Oakmont with an under par score since 2007.
So almost 2 decades.
Yeah. It just hammers home how special that performance really was, especially on that course.
But the sources, they really make a point that this win, it was about way more than just the score or the history books for J.J. Spaun.
Oh, definitely. It was deeply personal.
Yeah.
They really emphasize that this was a personal triumph. They bring up his health battles diagnosed with type 2 diabetes back in 2019.
Right, I remember reading about that.
Yeah, so he's apparently fought both health and form issues. His whole story, the way the material frames it, is one of sheer perseverance. It's become like one of the sport's most compelling narratives.
And then there's this other detail from the sources, just incredibly human, that adds another layer.
What's that?
It was Father's Day, right? Sunday.
Oh, right.
And apparently, he spent Saturday night, the night before the final round, awake in the ER with one of his daughters who'd gotten sick.
Oh, my goodness, seriously. The night before trying to win the U.S. Open.
Yeah. And the sources use this to underscore, the pressures these guys face that we don't always see. They're not just athletes, but fathers, husbands, and humans.
Yeah.
Dealing with real life right alongside the biggest moments of their careers.
Wow, that puts the whole thing in a different light, the mental strength required for that.
Unbelievable. And then you saw it on the 18th green, that emotional celebration with his wife and 2 young daughters, Emerson Lilly and Violet Windsor.
Must have been incredible for them.
Yeah. The sources nail it, I think, when they conclude the victory wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal.
Absolutely. You could feel that.
And of course, winning something like the U.S. Open changes your life in very practical ways, too.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Big time. The sources lay it out pretty clearly.
What are we talking?
Okay, first off, a $4.3 million winner's check.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Then a 10-year U.S. Open exemption. So he's in this tournament for a decade.
Huge security.
Massive. Plus 5-year exemptions into the Masters, PGA Championship, the Open Championship, and the Players. Basically, all the majors and the Players for 5 years.
So his schedule is set. He's in all the biggest events.
Exactly. And then a massive leap in the official world golf ranking, the OWGR, vaulting into the top 20 for the first time. And that OWGR, that's the official world golf ranking, which ranks everyone globally.
So, okay, what does this all mean then? It means in one incredibly tough week at Oakmont, dealing with the course, the pressure, personal stuff, off the course, his entire career, maybe his life, just completely transformed.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The 125th U.S. Open, based on everything we've looked at. It's going to be remembered for, well, the demanding conditions,
Well, yeah,
definitely.
for sure.
But also the emotional depth, the historic twists, the unforgettable drama.
Yeah.
And the sources just keep coming back to it. Oakmont really remains the ultimate crucible, the ultimate test.
And in 2025, as the sources put it so well, J.J. Spaun walked through fire, emerged forged in victory, and reminded us all what grit really looks like.
It really does make you think, though, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, the sources mention both things. The extreme pressure of Oakmont, this external stressor pushing him to the limit,
Right.
and then this intense personal stress, being up all night with his sick daughter. You wonder, did those two things colliding somehow, maybe paradoxically, prepare him? Or even free him up mentally to perform under that final round pressure when it mattered most? Huh. Like, maybe the golf pressure seems smaller compared to the family stress. Or maybe dealing with one helped him compartmentalize the other.
Could be. It's just a fascinating intersection of immense professional challenge and profound human resilience, something definitely worth mulling over.